Christmas. Christmas. Christmas.
Let's see what happens.
Let's just fuck it. Let's jump
Play
off and see where we
by
land.
ears.
Fix it in post.
Let's Thelma and Louise it. Let's go. Holding hands, everybody.
So with that, hi and welcome to After the Hype. With me as always, Brian and John.
Hello.
And Ryan is here today.
Hello, Brian and John, and
Hello, Ryan
And
and
Mackenzie
Brian.
is here today.
This is John.
Hi.
hello, Mackenzie.
And Brad is here today.
Hi.
For the
Hello,
first time in
Brad.
a long time. You haven't been on in a while, have you?
I was on Terminator 2.
You
Oh,
were on
man.
Terminator 2.
That was the first one I was on, I think.
Was it?
Yeah,
That was
really
still-
close
that
to
was
it.
in our old
Yeah.
recording
Yeah,
place,
that was
right?
at the old recording place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old place we don't speak of anymore.
Yeah, my home. Okay, so I will start with Merry Christmas. Although this isn't coming out on
Yay.
Christmas, but Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you merry
When's
time
it coming
travelers.
out?
Merry Christmas.
I don't know yet.
Merry Christmas.
It
After
actually
the
might be-
hype.
Yeah, it might actually come out right around Christmas.
You have
I'm
to
not
wait
sure.
for the trailer, and then we'll tell you when it's coming out.
Yeah.
And then we'll tease it.
You have to wait for the teaser for the trailer of the trailer teaser. But yeah, so this will come out right around Christmas time. We're here to talk about Christmas things, and everybody loves Christmas.
Peppermint.
But we will start, of course,
Gingerbread.
with a Where Have You Been Doing?
Ooh.
I will go first, and I will keep writing this Christmas theme. I saw The Night Before.
Ooh. The night before Christmas? I saw that a while ago.
It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. Like, so much better. Like, I enjoy Seth Rogen. I enjoy Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I really like Anthony Mackie. And then, what's her name? From Masters of Sex.
Yep.
Lizzie Kaplan. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's in it. She's really good. And the whole thing in Michael Shannon, is that his name?
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, I
Michael
think
Fuck
so.
Shannon.
Zod.
Yeah.
Yes, Zod.
Yeah.
Zod is in it.
That's him.
They
And
call
like-
me Michael F.
And that's the cast itself is what makes the movie great. And
Oh, nice.
And they all work so well together, and they're so funny together, and you can tell they're friends off screen because they play off each other really, really well. There's one cameo at the end that's kind of like, I figured this guy's going to show up at some point. I won't spoil it, even though that kind of does if you've seen any of their
Is
movies.
it Santa Claus?
It is not Santa Claus.
No.
Spoiler alert, Santa shows up.
Way off.
But I watched the whole thing, obviously. Because
That's
it's on
good.
Christmas. But it was when I went to go see it, I was kind of excited for it because the director has done. He did 50-50, which is another one of his movies. He did something else.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
remember. He did the zombie movie with Nicholas Holt. I'm forgetting the name of it now, but he did that one. And that
Warm
one was okay.
Bodies?
Thank
Is
you.
that-
Yes, Warm
Yeah.
Bodies. He did that one. That one is okay. But I like him with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
He's a solid director. He knows how to work with those actors, and I thought he'd be able to get something kind of funny out of it, and he did. And it was really funny. It actually still manages to have a pretty good message. Not message sounds weird, but it has like a good heart to it. Like you actually care about the characters, which for a screwball drug comedy is not common. And yeah, like the funny parts were so fucking funny. I was almost crying. Chewie has said it's now one of her favorite Christmas movies. We'll watch it every year, and it is just like the parts that are funny are so funny, it like hurt to laugh. So I was very entertained. I liked everything about it, and the best thing about it, without spoiling it, is that it's not afraid to go completely Looney Tunes, which is something that I feel like a lot of comedies are kind of afraid to do nowadays. Like they want to stay like grounded in reality, and this one's not afraid to go non-reality in a way that makes
Like
it
Harold and Kumar.
more so. They don't do it all the time, but when they do it, it still feels like it fits in the movie, and it made the movie better than what I thought it was going to be. And if you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. It's fucking hilarious. That's it for me.
Right on.
Cool.
I'll tell you what I've been doing.
Ooh.
I just saw The Force Awakens. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell us all about it, JJ.
Spoiler: we're recording this before the movie comes out. No, I actually did a thing. I went outside of my house and went and did a thing in LA, which is kind of cool.
Shit.
I went to the Japanese American National Museum.
Ooh.
They're currently having a special exhibit on Giant Robot, who's like a collective of artists who kind of are, a lot of them are Japanese, and they kind of are defining modern style right now. It was really cool. Lots of paintings. They have, I guess they had a little cafe open in LA, Giant Robot did, and I kind of totally missed the whole thing, but it closed down and they recreated it in the museum. So you like walk through and you see like all the art by, let me try to Google who some of the artists were. One awkward thing about it is, so the main exhibit is downstairs, and you walk through the main hall of the Japanese American Museum, and then you go upstairs to see the second part of the exhibit, and you walk through the only still remaining permanent exhibit, which is the story of internment camps. And you get really sad on your way to see more colorful toy art. So this exhibit was featured artists Eric Nakamura, Luke Chu, James Jean. Actually had some sketches by Jim Lee from X-Men and Batman comics.
Oh, that's
Wow.
Really kind of covered everything, and it was a lot of fun. And if you go Thursday nights, it's free from 5 to 8.
Me next.
Yep.
I too did a thing.
Going
I
outside. Crazy.
also downtown LA, hip happen in place. I went to a concert last night for, I think Jonathan's talked about this band before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Postmodern Jukebox.
Oh, yeah.
They are so much fun. I've been following them on YouTube for a couple of years and finally got to go see a live show. And their live show is so great. It's like a cabaret, old school cabaret show. They have about a dozen different vocalists. So, someone else will come out and sing each song, and then others will come out and do supporting vocals. And they have a ton of different musicians. And I've never seen such a rockin' trombone solo. They let everyone kind of do their thing and really do it up. And this trombonist tore it up. And they have a couple tap dancers that will come out and do.
Nice.
They'll do percussion for some of the songs.
Wow.
And they did one of the tap dancers. She got her own number, so it was just instrumental with the tap dancer, and it was a Star Wars medley.
That's awesome.
And if for any listeners who don't know about Postmodern Jukebox, they do top 40 popular tunes, but in the style of big band, swing, jazz, 1920s, 30s, and 40s style.
Cool.
So if we're going to talk about things that we've been doing, and I'll talk about something Christmassy that I did, which I tried to make Brian go to, but he bailed.
I was so sick.
Sure, whatever. It's fine. Last weekend, I went to this thing called Booty LA, which is a big dance party. And it's Christmas themed. Well, this was their Christmas themed one. And it's just really fun. And I really suggest that people go because it's for anybody. I went with a bunch of, friends, but it's for anybody who likes to dance, doesn't like to dance, loves any sort of music, because it's all mashups is what they play. And then since it's Christmas themed, they're mashing up top 40 hits with Christmas music and, old music and all sorts of stuff.
How often do they do them?
It's usually every week or every other weekend. Cool. It's always at the Echoplex in Silver Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they do it downtown at a venue. It just depends. But they're a ton of fun, and usually they're every week. Some of them are just generic themes, they'll do. I've seen 90s mashups. I've seen 80s versus 90s. I've seen Madonna. They'll do Prince. They'll do all sorts of themed ones, and people just come decked out in costumes or decorations or everything, and it's just a ton of fun.
Very cool.
So I highly recommend it. Booty LA.
So I did something not related to the holidays or going out and doing stuff. As you may or may not know, this might be a surprise. I have a child, and we've been subjecting her to Disney movies, just cartoons, just to watch something different.
Good choice.
And we came, and I picked The Emperor's New Groove because I remember enjoying it.
Oh, I hate that movie.
And
Not my favorite.
then we'll agree. I thought it was hilarious the second time around.
Yeah.
It's mainly Kronk, I think, is what did it, and just it's a very
It was the late 90s, right? Right, after Lion King and all that stuff.
I think it was one of their last 2D animated films.
Right.
I think
What's the child's consensus on the movie? Karina's review.
She's still not in on the full feature length thing yet.
So
we're still
down
a
from
little
her.
long. We're still a little long. Lot less Mickey Mouse. But there was moments where she was laughing. More of the slapstick stuff. John Goodman was in this one, and I forgot that he was in that because it's oh, Sully. Okay.
Man, I could tell you have a kid if you associated John Goodwin with Sully first instead of, Roseanne or any of the million things he's been in since then.
Yeah.
Or since we were, were aware of him.
That's all he's done.
Just Sully.
Just Sully.
That's it. That's all he is.
Yeah.
Not the Big Lebowski, not anything else.
Nope.
All right, let's move into today's episode, which is more Christmassy. We're going to start with our battle. Then I want to talk a little bit more about Christmas stuff because it's fun and all after the hype related.
Yeah.
Get this battle out of the way.
We're going to get the meat of the episode out of the way. But first, as we go around, I want to kind of talk about the movies we have on the table. And what I like to do with these sort of things is talk about when we first encountered them, if we can remember. Some people might have a little bit more trouble with that than, say, somebody like me, who has a very, very easy one. I watched it when it came on TV.
Right.
Or actually, I think I rented this one because it came to DVD first. But yeah, so I'll start it. So I'm doing the, it's called It's Always Sunny Christmas. But no, so they did it originally as a straight to DVD like special. And I remember hearing that they were doing that and going, that sounds dumb. And then one of my friends rented it and I watched it with them. But the thing that I remember mostly about watching it was that it was kind of finally what It's Always Sunny was always kind of the fringe of doing, of just being completely uncensored, and this one just kind of ran with it. So
Yeah.
they swear a lot more, they do a lot more. But at first I was like, well, that's just kind of like a gimme to get cheap laughs. And then as I watched it, it's like, no, they fucking run with it. And I just remember watching it going, this is the funniest Christmas TV special I've seen ever. And because of that, I always watch it every year at Christmas, and it fucking cracks me up every fucking time. Next.
Mine. I'm more. Let's go in reverse order of when these things came out. I'm gonna bring it way down. My special is the British Office season or series finale 2-parter Christmas special. I know that I saw this show in its entirety sometime in the middle of the American one. Like I think a lot of us, I was introduced to this show and the concept by the American Office. And then somebody's like, oh, yeah, there's a way better one. And I went and checked it out. And I think I have the DVD box set, and I just powered through the whole thing at once. And
All 12 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very
All
long.
8 hours of it. I did it again yesterday. It's not that hard to do because it's hilarious.
It's
But
totally worth it.
I got to say that the show ended so well that it really, now watching it again, really ruins the finale of the American show for me.
All right, next.
I guess I'll go next. My Christmas TV special is How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh,
and
yes.
so I don't really remember when I was first introduced to this.
That'd be a little tough, yeah.
When it first came out, oh my
in
goodness, time travel.
How old are you?
1966, Yeah.
You look great for your
I
age.
it was probably on TV because it always airs every Christmas, around December.
ABC Family.
Yeah,
Or TBS, very funny.
they'll just air it. It's on some evening in December, and it'll come on, and I probably watched it then. I probably also had the book. I bet I had the book.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I would read that, and then was more excited to see it on TV when it came on.
Do kids still read Dr. Seuss? Is that still
Oh
a thing?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know.
It's
I've been-
it's still relevant to today.
Okay, yeah, I
'cause
didn't know.
The stories they're not dated because they're
No.
not about anything about
Right,
the
yeah.
time.
Those are so fun to read out loud
Yeah.
to children. Just
Yeah.
to let you know that.
Okay.
Doing voices and the rhyme scheme is so pleasant.
Can you imagine the sadness of children who are introduced to the Grinch for the first time with Jim Carrey?
Ugh.
I was really glad you didn't choose that one. Although I guess it's a movie, so
That's
not
a
TV
movie, it didn't
special.
count.
But
It was
John brought that up last year in our worst Christmas
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
So the one that I had is also a classic, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I don't again remember exactly when I saw it, but I grew up loving Charlie Brown. I collected all the comics. I had so many Snoopy stuff and all sorts of Peanuts characters in my room, and I'm wearing a Charlie Brown or Snoopy T-shirt today to represent. So yeah, I mean, I don't remember seeing it, but it's just I've always gone back to it. It's for me, it's always been a tradition. Like I'm really big into Christmas. Brian knows because he's lived with me for a long time, and that's whenever I put up my Christmas decorations, that is the first thing to go on is that movie or that TV special, and then I will follow it up with any Christmas movie after that. But
Awesome. It's
that
classic.
that is my tradition. So I've loved it for as long as I can remember, and it's still classic.
This gives you all warm fuzzies every time you watch it.
It does.
You can't be angry or sad or stressed out after watching that.
You could be a little sad.
You can definitely
Oh
be
yeah,
sad.
you can definitely be sad. You can definitely be sad.
I mean, it's Charlie Brown. He's a little bit of a downer.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
How I hate him.
yeah,
What a jerk.
yeah.
Bringing us all down. So mine was ABED'S Uncontrollable Christmas from season 2 of Community, and I remember watching it when it came out.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. I was really big into Community at the time, and I was just like a great way to kind of call back to the Christmas specials that you watch, the Rank and the Bass ones, and just to kind of also build their characters up. I know I'm watching this the second time around. I didn't realize how great the characters were in this. Like, just all the reveals and all. Like, it was so good. And
There is something in your episode, we'll get to it when you start defending
Yeah.
it, that will make me never vote for yours.
Okay.
It takes a cheap shot at something I love, and I will never forgive it.
Okay.
Oh, if we're gonna talk about that, then I have a qualm with the Office Christmas special.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Oh, yeah.
In our next segment.
Called Negativity Corner.
Yes.
Why you all suck.
But speaking of which, I think we should get into our next segment of defending these things. The AKA battle of today.
Everyone bring their swords.
Yep.
Their Christmas swords.
I brought my
Christmas fight.
tears.
Christmas
Candy
fight.
canes.
Those suckers are
Sharpened.
sharp.
Yeah.
They hurt.
All right,
I thought I would know.
I'm going to go first today because I am 99% sure I'm going to lose. And I'm totally fine with that. But I'm going to start.
Don't you say that like before every one of these battles? It's
Yeah,
like,
but then I won 3 in a row, so who
Yeah.
knows?
it's anyone's
Granted,
game.
I only won the Thanksgiving one because Ryan set me up to win.
You're welcome.
He had to vote wrong, so I just I can take this for myself.
Yeah.
I just re-listened to that episode. I was like, wow, I totally cheated and won at the end of that.
I just like throwing monkey wrenches in the whole process of the podcast.
All right, so my X amount of time has started. We'll see how long it takes. But kind of how I was saying earlier, the reason that I love the It's Always Sunny Christmas special is because it feels like it was a Christmas special meant for somebody with my sense of humor, which is kind of fucked up and it's kind of deranged. And it just kind of takes things and turns it on its head while still being all about Christmas. And I think that's what makes it so good. Because a lot of Christmas specials are just a normal episode where every now and then they go, spirit of the holiday, family, love, tree. And it's like, okay, that was great. Thanks, Scrubs. I guess that was a Christmas episode. But like the thing that I liked about this one is that it felt like they really set out to make a Christmas thing. And I think they did a great job with it. And I like the way that they do it. They set it up with Mac and Charlie have their Christmas traditions, where they set up the whole bar on Christmas Eve with all the Christmas decorations, and they get so excited about it. And Deandra or Sweet D and Dennis have their Christmas traditions, which is fuck everything. And I love that they have all this, and I love the constant Frank, where he's been trying to teach his kids this lesson throughout the whole year, where it's like, you don't want to just get shit on Christmas, you want to have love on Christmas. And Dennis and Dee are just so fucking stupid and evil that they never pick up on it, and all they want is stuff. And while this whole thing's going, you have moments that make me laugh harder than anything has ever been in a Christmas thing, where you find out that you always know that Mac's family is just a trailer trash, awful people. And you find out that his Christmas tradition was the classic Philadelphia tradition of you go to your neighbor's house and you open all of their presents, you keep their presents, and then you run away when they get home. And then he finds out that, nope, I was just robbing my neighbors every Christmas.
But it's okay because they're robbing him.
Yeah, but it's okay because they're robbing him. It's like, that's why there's no Christmas presents in my house, right? No. And I love that when he has that realization. It's like, man, this is really dicking with my Christmas spirit.
Really, anything with Charlie.
And then so they decided to fix his Christmas spirit by going to Charlie's house and like, well, yeah, we're gonna do Christmas Charlie style. We go to his house, gonna give his mom all this vodka, like chug chug chug, Christmas time. And then as they're talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, it's great. And then all the Santas come over in the morning and cheer at my mom. What? And just as the slow realization that Charlie's mom was a prostitute for Santas on Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. And just that whole slow realization of, no! They have to drag him out of his house screaming. Fucking kills me. And then the cherry on top, when they go to the mall to try to pick up a gift for some guy they wronged way back in the day when they robbed his Christmas present, and Charlie sees the Santa and just walks up to him and like, this is the Santa, I'm going to use the R word, I'm sorry. Is he retarded? I got this. It's just like, what do you want for Christmas this year, little young man? Did you fuck my mom, Santa? What? Santa, did you fuck my fucking mom? Like the first time I saw that, because it's the first time they use the F-bomb in the whole episode, so it really kind of, it catches you off guard, because before that, it's so classic, like It's Always Sunny, where they say shit every now and then, and they did it so smart, where it just takes that left turn, and he fucking bites a chunk out of Santa's neck.
Yep.
Rob, I was gonna say his actual name, but Mac elbows a woman in the face and knocks her down, and like it's just pure chaos. Mm-hmm. And I was laughing so hard. I immediately had to I had pulled somebody else into the room. Like whenever I watch it, like this is the funniest shit you've ever seen. When I remember showing it to Chewie for the first time, like the whole episode's like, that's normal. It's always sunny. It's funny, and that moment is the turning point. And she's like, no, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah. And then, of course, you have like the actual the payoff at the end of the thing where they finally do like a callback to the old Christmas stuff where they do a whole segment in claymation of all of them getting up together and killing Frank. And it was all done with this the old timey Christmas elf, and he's singing a song about them all burning and hanging by his spinal cord and blowing up his eyeballs, and it's completely nuts. And then even the payoff of that at the end of it is going, why wasn't the elf wearing pants? And nobody said he wasn't wearing pants. Oh, I must have. Never mind. And it's just, the whole episode is just stuck with these things that are very It's Always Sunny, and it's very Christmas. And I think that because it did such a good job mashing these two things together, that really, if you think about it, Christmas spirit and horrible people in Philadelphia probably wouldn't mix that well together. They did such a good job making it work that it fucking kills me every time, and I look forward to watching it every year. And I try not to watch it any other time of year, but then around Christmas time, because it is, for me, that funny. And it's just that good. I know it's not going to stand the test of time. I know it's not a classic. I'm not delusional. But for me right now, it's fucking great.
Nice job. You made me want to watch it again. Yeah.
All right. I'll stop there. I still have another 2 minutes left, but I'm not just going to ramble for a little while. All right. Who's next?
Yeah, I guess I can go. So mine is Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, and pretty much jumps right into the stop motion animation thing. And it starts with Abed revealing that, oh yeah, it's cool, we're all stop motion animated, and everyone's just like, what are you talking about? And then it starts to kind of go on further, and they get kind of worried, like, if you keep doing this, you're gonna get kicked out of school. It's like, no, it's okay. It does a musical number and gets tasered on top of a car, and then jump right into the episode. And so then they try to kind of have an intervention for him, get a therapy session. John Oliver's character comes in and he tries to take him on a journey to his magical cave, but Abed's like, no, I got this. We're gonna take my own journey. And then they go into this winter wonderland and travel through it, and everyone kind of loses. They get kicked out, and there's a little, Willy Wonka type song to kind of like, oh, your character flaw, da-da-da. And it's revealed that Abed's mom can't be with him. And it kind of turns into a really sentimental thing, and they all come together and basically send John Oliver away on a
a Christmas
Falcon, Christmas Falcon or something.
Yeah.
And that's that. And then they just, Troy and Abed in the morning, they do their little stop motion routine.
Troy and Abed in stop motion.
Yep. And they swap their heads. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, what drew me to it was the sincerity. And I forgot how sincere Community itself was, because humor can just be like sarcastic, mean, and I just forgot how much heart they put in that. In any of their episodes, really, but specifically here, like they're willing to let their characters be sad, have a kind of a problem and not be able to deal with it, and then they come together. I was really drawn to how personal it got, especially with Abed's journey, which boo-hoo, family's not with me, but they give it weight.
Yeah, Abed is definitely that show for me.
Yeah, and
I agree to a point. At some points, it's like I kind of need everybody there, which is why I never watched season 6.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like you no longer have Chevy Chase, you no longer have I forget his name, Childish Gambino, and you no longer have Shirley, and it's like, okay, at a certain point, like Abed is the heart of the show, and he's what makes it good. But you kind of need those other people,
and you need those people to play off.
You do,
yeah. And this episode was really, for me, it kind of showed how much you need those people, because the whole Willy Wonka aspect of it, which is why I don't love it as much as I think a lot of people do, because as you start picking people off, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of fun, but at the same time, I liked it more when they were all there.
Yeah.
I don't really like shows, like I don't like those sorts of episodes where it's like watch these characters disappear, like that's why I never really, like, I love the paintball episodes, but at the same time it's like, all right, well,
at the same time,
I like it when those people are together, when what is it they call the Greendale Six or whatever it is. It's funny because they are so funny and so good together. That's the reason that show stayed on as long as it did, is because
it's an ensemble show.
Yeah, absolutely. You need those people together.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say it's the same thing with Arrested Development. It's a better as an ensemble show. When you split them all apart, it just doesn't work as well. Yeah. So it's the same.
You hear that, Netflix?
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. I mean, even when they had a bottle episode, they were like, hey, here comes our bottle episode. But this one wasn't as self-aware, I think, in that aspect.
I think this one was more self-aware, and that's what made it better. Like, just being like, we were being a Christmas claymation episode. Now watch us be completely ridiculously Christmas claymation episode.
And they leaned into it in a way that doing that is not easy. And you watch it, it's like, they make it look easy.
Yeah.
I think it was lacking self-awareness in that we're taking the ensemble out of an ensemble show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But like it really had an understanding of the classics though, which it was also impressive. I didn't remember that going into this, that they know their shit.
Absolutely.
And it cut down to the very details.
Yep.
And how each person who's transformed into their own thing is just immediately on the nose their theme.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I loved
it's funny.
fucking Chevy Chase's little bear. So fucking good.
And he comes back. Like, they gave Chevy Chase's character, he's kind of a jerk in this one, a little bit more so than, like, other episodes, but they give him, like, more. Like, sure, he was there for the cookies, but he's like, hey, man, you know, you've got this. You know, I'll be here. I'll be here for you. I'm cool with, like, the, you know, happy, cheerful kind of, we all come together and it's all about love. I'm for that. Like, I'll buy into it. And they make it easy to buy into because they make a joke at Lost's expense.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is the reason I hate your episode. How dare you make fun of Lost? I love Lost. I don't care what anybody says. It's a great show.
I just think I forgot that the joke was in there. It came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, okay. I felt it was more a commentary on people's reaction against Lost too. For as meta as that show was, I wouldn't be surprised if it were a commentary on people who are disappointed in Lost too.
I don't understand the statement, and I will not respond to it.
But it was
Lost is great.
That may be true,
Or it may not be true.
or it may not be true.
No, it's true.
No, it's true.
It's fact. Law. Written.
Written, set in stone. But yeah, no, I just really liked how earnest it was.
And then retcon. Oh, what?
And I forgot that John Oliver was in it. Like, I forgot that he was the Christmas wizard.
Yeah.
And we need to go to your mind castle or mind cave. It's like, no. And he self-destructs it. It was good. I really liked it. And
Cool.
it was very sincere.
Yeah, it is. It is very good.
Yep. Still not as good as it's always sounded, but you know, whatever. That's fine.
Like Lost, we can agree to disagree.
All right. Next.
I'll go next. Let's work our way to the classics from the most oddball.
Let's zigzag this.
So my
From
episode
the losers
is
to the winners.
Yes, of course.
my episode was the British Office, and I swear to God, this episode's about Christmas somewhere.
Nope.
One thing I think that the Office Christmas episode did really well was capture the way that people really feel about the holiday spirit, which is a little bittersweet and awkward. Like, as much as we like to pretend on the outside we're so excited for Christmas and Christmas songs and Christmas music, like, everybody I've ever known is a little extra stressed out around the holidays. Like, usually for people, family is... It's good to go back and see your family, but then at the end of it, you can't wait to get away from them again. So I think The Office does a great job of capturing, like, how we're expected to behave certain ways around the holidays when really we just are all after what we want out of life. So it's a fantastic series and a fantastic finale. This is in the style of other, like, docudramas that are big in the UK. This is 3 years after the documentary series was filmed and released and aired, and it's kind of like one of those catch-up episodes. It's common in reality shows, too. So we see Ricky Gervais, David Brent has been fired at the end of the second series. Now we see that he has finally pursued his music career. He kind of got some semi-success with the music video, but then he got really sad and is just doing, like, sad, washed-up celebrity appearances and, like, nightclub shows and stuff. We see Dawn and Lee, after they moved to Florida at the end of the second series. She is completely miserable, and he's totally just laying out by the pool and not contributing anything to the relationship, just, like, through the rest of the series. She's actually holding a baby when we cut to her, so we think, oh my God, she's got a baby and she's totally tied in now and she can't leave him for Tim, but turns out she's just babysitting somebody. We see back at the office, Gareth has taken over the spot of general manager for the office in David Brent's place, and Tim is still working there, completely miserable, even more than before. at Gareth's old desk, he has a new character, Anne, who is a pregnant woman, and she just talks nothing about anything except for her pregnancy and explicit details about the conception of the baby. And
how much people want to bang her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I love that line where she's like, I just can't figure it out why the other men at the office keep going after me even though they don't have a chance. And he's like, yeah, I'm racking my brain, too. And it's a close-up of his face like, fuck, did I just say that? I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings, but that's how I feel right now.
She's kind of the unsung hero of this episode, I think.
And?
Because like everyone's funny in their own kind of quiet, awkward way, but she brought something new to the episode that was not there before and was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she definitely did.
She cracks me up in that episode.
She is really funny. I mean, in a way that makes you feel awkward and like not want to be around this whole situation, which is a great metaphor for the whole show.
But it's kind of like one of those things where, like, when you see you see a good friend at a party who just got cornered by, like, that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to talk to him for, like, 20 minutes now. And every time she's there, it's like that you get that feeling. It's so good.
I've never worked in an office in my life, and I love this show. I can't imagine the response that people have who have actually worked or currently work in a shitty office environment like this show.
I worked in an office for all of, like, 2 months when John got me hired. And I quickly got fired from that job.
Never let it be said I didn't try to get you a job. But it wasn't a great job, so.
Yeah, when you know you're getting fired when somebody starts a conversation by screaming to an entire room, who the fuck is Brian Dressel?
That's a better story than this episode. So this show sets up, the first part of the two-parter sets up David Brent is continually going back to the office and just like still annoying the shit out of his coworkers or his former coworkers, and like his new boss Neil. I mean his old boss, the new boss of the company, Neil. And it's like it's super sad for David Brent. You think, you know, he got out of the office and he finally pursued his dream of being a musician, and it just didn't work out for him. It wasn't all it was cracked up to be. And he just misses his old life. We go on to the second parter, where is the actual Christmas episode. It is actually the Christmas party at the office. The documentary crew offers to fly. I keep wanting to say the American characters' names. Don and Lee, not Pam, back to the office to reunite with everybody. So on and so forth. This breakdown's really boring, but everything goes wrong, basically.
Say why you like it so much. Like, what makes this the best Christmas thing here?
Did you say Christmas?
Yes.
Because this episode has nothing to do with Christmas.
Yep, there's my problem.
Yeah. So I think that I'm just going to talk about why this is better than The American Office and why it's a great finale.
Or even just to give you one, like, it's the punctuation. It sounds like it's just the end. The end of it that really hits you with it.
And Christmas is like the last thing of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, that's true.
And that is how it's like Christmas.
So, I mean, yeah, we see that everybody kind of gets what they want, but not until the last 15 seconds of the episode, right? And I'm actually not sure that was the best move to make. Like, so we work through this, and Tim continues to be miserable at work and annoyed by Anne, and Dawn comes back, and it's still this awkward moment where he actually did ask her out in the second series, and she said no, and she moved away to Florida, and so he thought his chance was over and was hoping to never see her again. Gareth is kind of stepped up to the manager position, and I actually think he was the one who's like the most satisfied at the end of this entire series.
Yeah.
Aside from the last 5 seconds of the show, where Tim gets what he wants. But Gareth is hilarious, and David Brent, when he goes back to the office and he like brings in the dog, and Neil tells him that he's no longer welcome at the office. It's really sad again for David Brent, because we see after trying to get his career in music going and being disappointed, he no longer has the one thing left that he actually enjoyed, which was his old coworkers.
Right.
So the show closes with with Lee dragging Dawn away, leaving the party early. He grabs her Secret Santa present for her. She opens it in the taxi, and it's an oil painting set from Tim and a picture that she drew him saying "Never give up." She starts crying. then the last few seconds of the episode, we see that she actually goes back to the office and kisses Tim, and he gets what he wants. And I love the closure that they finally come together at the end. They didn't do it in the middle of the series and then like tease us taking it away and putting it back together like Jim and Pam in The American Office. I thought it was just a great close, and I love the way that this series wrapped up after 2 seasons like The American Office should have.
Yeah.
That series just went on way too long.
My favorite thing in the episode, and then you've ran a little bit over, but I'm giving you the 2 minutes I didn't use.
I mean, I'm pretty much done. I think this was
Cap and trade.
The one thing that you didn't mention that I think was the best is that you didn't see David Brent get what he wants, but you saw him finally take the turn that shows that he's going to start making the right decisions, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I think
the moment he stands up for himself is like, that was almost more rewarding to me as a fan than the whole Dawn and I already forgot his name.
Jim.
Yeah.
That's
Dawn,
the easiest one for me because it's 2 of the same letters.
Yeah. But that was more rewarding for me as a fan than seeing them get together. Seeing him finally start, like, talk to a girl without fucking it up.
Yeah.
And then listen to that guy who he said he was his friend, and it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Such a great moment.
Oh, I didn't mention David Brent's entire development through this second episode, where at the beginning Neil challenges him that he's like, I got a super hot date, and David is like, oh fuck, I need a date. So he starts going on internet dates, and he like one of them he like immediately writes off because she's kind of fat and ugly, or middle-aged, whatever you want to call it. Another one he talks to on the phone, and he's like, hey, you might know me from that BBC series The Office. And she's like, you're not that miserable boss, are you?
That was good.
And I think at that point he starts to realize that he's not everything that he thought he was cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exactly where this was going, I think. And then I love the way that he kind of like, I don't know, did he really lower his standards? But he finally does meet a girl and brings her to the party.
He kind of levels out, is the way to say it. I wouldn't say he lowers his standards. He just kind of comes down off of his cloud of, I'm not a TV star. I was like a one-hit wonder. Like, I can start being human.
Yeah.
I think that was really important.
Yeah.
And I mean, love him or hate him, I think Ricky Gervais I think he's great. And I like it when he does roles that actually challenge him. He's not the best in movies. He's fine.
Yeah.
But his stand-up is funny if you like it.
I
But,
cry every time I watch him in Derek.
Oh, I mean, this
I
show,
like Derek.
I
the
cry
extras
every time.
and Derek are like some of the best television or some of the best series on television.
Fucking Extras is that Christmas special is really fucking good too.
Yeah.
No.
I think this The Office really captures what it's like to work in an office space. Like, you aren't gonna like what everybody around you is doing or talking about. I like the way that he just tries to be awkward and like racist and sexist and gender biased, and just like everybody else in the workplace shuts him down.
Yeah.
Well, there is a moment. I think it's Tim, who's the Jim character.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's somebody who's narrating. Talks about how, like, I think it's near the end of the episode where, you work in an office and you spend 8 hours a day for 5 days a week with these people. You spend more time with these people than you do with your friends and family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, so for better or for worse, you're brought together with these people. You know,
And everybody changes each other, usually for the better.
right.
Hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
All right, we should move on to the next one.
I'll go.
Oh, the Christmas present was the best part. That's why it's the best Christmas movie. He gave her a present.
It also takes place on a Tuesday, so it's the best Tuesday episode ever.
There you go.
So I had the Christmas special, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, from 1966. It was based on the Dr. Seuss book of the same title, narrated by Boris Karloff, who also, he narrates and does the voice of the Grinch, because I don't think anyone else in the special actually has any lines.
Cindy Lou Who does.
Cindy
Cindy Lou Who. She says a few things.
He did that too. That's really impressive.
Boris Karloff.
But yeah. Right. So the Grinch, for anyone who doesn't know, is about a Grinchy guy character who lives up on his hill and hates Christmas because he's a Grinch, and he steals Christmas from the Who's. But so what I think is great about the Grinch is that it's from 1966. The book was even written earlier, I think, from early 60s or late 50s. But it doesn't feel dated to me because it's so all the themes and the characters work in any time period. They still work today. I was just thinking the other day when I was rewatching this that the Grinch is basically Donald Trump. And he's like your racist uncle.
Okay. I was like, where are you going?
He is. Well, I'll make the point.
Let's follow her through this.
He's sitting up in his cave, and the Who's are down in Whoville, and they're celebrating, and they're singing their songs, and they're making their traditional dishes, and he just hates everything about it because they're a different ethnicity and they're a different culture, and he's like, their stupid holiday is just bringing me down. And I hate having these neighbors that are Who's. And so
the Who's are Mexicans?
I mean, they're
Mexicans and Muslims.
They could be Muslims, they could be Mexicans, they could be, I mean, anything that is not what he is, because it's just annoying him. Like, he hates their roast beast, and he hates their songs, and he hates their decorations, and he just hates all of it.
That totally is a metaphor.
Yeah.
But he wants them to work for him.
Right. So
As long as there's a wall.
And so since he's so annoyed by their celebration and their cultural traditions, he's like, I'm just going to stop this. I'm going to nip this in the bud. If I go down there and I steal Christmas, then they'll stop. They won't have Christmas. So he devises this plan, him and his dog. He dresses up like Santa Claus. He dresses up his dog like Rudolph, which is a great plan. And they go down to Whoville, and he just breaks into all their houses and takes all their shit. He takes their trees, and he takes their presents, and he takes their roast beast, and he just takes everything.
You really should have rhymed there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Missed opportunity.
I know. Then he takes it back up onto his Grinchy hill, and he's about to dump it all over the cliff. He's just gonna get rid of all of it. But it took him all night to do that. And so by the time he gets up there, it's morning again, and he's waiting for them to all come out and just be upset. And he's like, oh, I'm so excited to see the fruit of my labor, all of my ethnically different neighbors crying instead of singing. But instead they come out and they start singing, and they sing, they join hands around where the Christmas tree used to be, and they sing their songs because it's Christmas, and it doesn't matter that they don't have their stuff and their decorations and their food, apparently. But that's not what it's about. They are coming out and they're celebrating as a community because they love each other. And he sees that, and he doesn't really get it, but then he gets it, and he's like, you know what? They're not so different from you and I. And he brings back all their stuff, and he celebrates with them, and he carves the roast beast. And so his heart grew 2 sizes that day, is what he says. And so that's what I like about that story, is that it's still relevant today with the Donald Trump metaphor, or anyone's just grouchy. Anyone who's grouchy, like they just need to see that it's not about what they think they're mad about. They shouldn't be mad about. And Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss, who wrote the book, he wrote it criticizing the commercialism of Christmas, because he kind of thought of himself as the Grinch, that he was just kind of annoyed that everyone was, just shopping, and it's all about shopping, and it's all about presents, and it's all about getting things. And then he wrote the book to kind of show that he doesn't have to be grouchy about it, because it's not really about that, and it doesn't have to be about that. And it's still relevant to today because there was a live action version directed by Ron Howard in the year 2000, which may or may not have been good. But in my research, I also found that Illumination, the studio who did the Minions, is making a 3D version to be released in 2017.
Interesting.
So I'm hoping,
more excited for that than I
I'm
would have
hoping
been
that
for
will
Jim
be
Carrey.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's anything like Minions, it'll be fun at least.
At the bare minimum, it will be fun.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
it
make
will be
fun movies. They're not all great, but they're fun.
Yeah.
Yes, they're definitely fun.
Yeah.
So I just love it because it's a Christmas tradition. It's classic. It's short and easy to watch, and it comes on every year, so you don't have to search too high and far to find it.
You make really good points about it being timeless, because like the characters aren't really dressed in anything that speaks to the era,
Right.
or the artwork is not
Yeah,
like
by
that.
sticking to that, it makes it like this certain level of like whimsical that
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
it timeless in ways.
Oh,
that,
and I didn't mention the music is timeless.
So
like
good.
everyone knows
Five
You're a
and
Mean
Forehead.
One, Mr. Grinch. He's a bad banana.
The greasy black bit?
with a greasy black peel.
Don't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
39 and a half.
39
If you had
and
a
a
40-foot
half-inch
pole, you
pole.
might touch him. But
39. Yeah, anything below.
yeah.
When I was a child, I sang that song in a mall.
By
not
yourself?
kidding.
For an audience?
For an audience.
Nope.
No, I'm just standing in the corner. No, I took voice lessons, and my voice teacher made me sing that in a mall.
Oh.
South Park Mall in Quad Cities.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
But it's a great song.
I forgot the words. It was
it's
embarrassing.
always on the radio this time of year also. And it's, it's a classic.
It is. And ironically,
And-
your time just ended when you
Oh.
said it was
Well
a classic.
done.
I also just want to add that the word Grinch is now in the lexicon. Everyone
Yeah.
knows what a Grinch is, and anyone who's being grouchy is called a Grinch.
Nice. Brad.
So another classic, A Charlie Brown Christmas, which came out. I was looking up because I figured they had to have come out right around the same time. It was the year before, so yours was 66 and I was 65. It's just, to me, this is a classic because it's taking all of the Charlie Brown Peanut characters. I mean, right at this time, Peanuts has been out for 15 years, and they wanted to make a special, and so who better to try and find the true meaning of Christmas than try and get the downer Charlie Brown to find it, to discover it. And so that's what this story is about, is Charlie Brown trying to find the true meaning of Christmas. And he's the one that's doesn't understand the holidays, and everything's getting very commercialized, and his sister wants 10s and 20s for money but not presents. And
That's a lot of money back then,
I
by
know,
the way.
yeah.
She's a badass.
Yeah. And everybody, like Lucy's talking about how she just, she gets toys and gifts and all this stuff, but she wants real estate. And so it's just all,
So good.
it's just become very commercialized. And, like all the Christmas trees are these big plastic, over the top, extravagant things. And it's just, and Charlie Brown is trying to dig through, like all of what, what Christmas has become, and try to find the true meaning of Christmas. And so, on this journey, he, Lucy gives him the opportunity to direct the Christmas play, hoping that this will reignite his, love and spirit for it. And Charlie Brown, because he's sort of a dope and can't really do much, is not a very good director. He can't really control his cast. And so, they send him out to find a Christmas tree to, kind of bring everybody together. And of course, Charlie Brown finds the piece of junk Christmas tree that's falling apart, because he wants to to get something that hasn't been too commercialized, isn't over the top, isn't tainted by the big commercial conglomerate, and he brings it back, and he again he fails, and everybody has grown to oh, we want the biggest, best, coolest, brightest, over the top thing, and he doesn't deliver that.
He brings them kindling.
Yes, he basically brings them a falling apart Christmas tree.
Hey, Charlie
A
Brown
branch.
Christmas tree.
Yeah, a branch. And so he's shunned and basically fired from the play, or they don't really say, but he's kind of fired.
Which, okay, to be fair, I'm going to interrupt really quick. The kids are right.
Oh, yeah.
The kids are totally right.
No.
Hey, we need
I
a
agree.
wonderful Christmas tree for our Christmas play. Here's a fucking branch.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Charlie Brown. You fucked up.
I agree. But the beauty of the story is once Charlie Brown is taken, leaves with the Christmas tree and tries to make it the big extravagant thing that it should be, he fails again because he can't turn it into that. And then when he leaves, all the kids come and they're like, it's really not that bad. And we can see past, what his spirit was and what, what he meant to do. And all of them come together and, take some of Snoopy's big extravagant doghouse that he's, got first prize for the big, Christmas decorating.
And glue some magical pine needles.
Yeah. Whatever. It's not perfect. At least it takes place during Christmas. And so that's the thing, is that the whole concept, or the whole point of the story, is that it's bringing everybody together, and that when Charlie Brown comes back and the tree is all done, and all the kids have rallied together and done this for Charlie Brown. That's what Christmas is all about, is being with the people that you care about or are with, or whether you for better or for worse, you're not always gonna love your family and friends and whatnot. But that's what Christmas is all about, is being together and doing this together, and that's kind of the ending. It's nice and sweet and simple.
And both sides see past, they both see past it.
Exactly.
They both need to. It's really nice
Yeah.
that both sides do that.
Yeah, Charlie Brown sees that, commercial isn't necessarily bad if, it's done in the right way. And
Yeah.
the kids see that, you can make beauty out of anything. Mm-hmm. So.
Or they just feel bad for Charlie Brown, and they're like, we hurt our friends' feelings. Let's
Do
pretend
they
like this
ever-
tree is cool.
Do they ever really actually feel bad about hurting Charlie Brown's feelings? Because the entire
I don't think
run
they
is
do.
just.
Not really.
The entire.
No.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I
I,
mean,
made the
everyone's-
joke earlier, how I hate him.
Yeah.
Like, that's the very first comic. It's
Yep.
just, here comes Charlie Brown.
Good
Good
old
old
Charlie
Charlie Brown.
Yep.
How I hate him. It's like, good lord.
Yeah.
But they hang out with him for his dog, I think.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
an
he
awesome
does
dog.
got an
Sweet
awesome
dog.
dog. No, I mean, like,
Well, I
but
mean, they kind of like him sometimes. Like in the
Yeah, and they
is
let him
it
be the pitcher for the
Thanksgiving
baseball
special
team, yeah.
where Lucy's like, "Oh, you should run for class president,"
Yeah.
and then 5 minutes later, they're like, "No, you definitely shouldn't."
well, it's the same thing in this episode. Like Lucy, like he goes to see Lucy because she's the doctor behind her little doctor booth, and he's trying to get them tree meeting at Christmas, and she's actually trying to give him like good advice and like, hey, like let's get you involved and let's bring you a part of something, and like although Lucy doesn't like him that much, she's trying to
I
bring
call
him
bullshit
in.
on that. They totally started dating in high school.
Yeah, totally,
Probably.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Only
mean, like,
because she knows that he'd never cheat on her with one of the cheerleaders.
Right.
plus she
Totally
also wants
true.
she also wants to be president, so she needs kind of like a a man just to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a
Oh,
yes
he's
man.
the
A yes
perfect
man.
just there man.
just there, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like they do reach out to Charlie Brown every once in a while throughout the comics and throughout all the movies and stories and TV specials. Every once in a while they do give him this glimmer of like, hey, like you can be a part of this. Usually he's not there very long, but
Yeah. The one thing that I love about
They let him be the pitcher on the baseball team, even though they just yell at him the whole
Yep.
time.
and he fucks up all the time. He
Yep.
always gets hit by a pitch.
he always gets hit by the pitch.
The one thing that I do love about your special in relation to the movie that just came out about Peanuts, which is it's very good. If you get a chance to watch it, you should check it out. But I like that this movie did a good job, or the special, of giving each character their moment to shine. Like they did a really good job giving everyone one thing to do, whereas the movie kind of failed at that. But kind of, not entirely.
Not entirely,
But like
but-
the moment with Schroeder where he and Lucy were at the piano going over, like, I need to hear Jingle Bells, and he keeps trying to play like a really nice version of it, and she's like, no, that's not it, and then
Yeah.
just dank, dank, dank,
Yeah.
dank, dank, dank. And just the look on his face as he's playing it's fucking hilarious. Like I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about the Christmas special is you get up until that time all the characters that have been in the comic so far. You get a little bit of everybody's personality, everybody's like stories, everybody's relationships, and it's all crammed in within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
That's impressive.
yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah. That's
Pigpen, you're the only person I know who can create a dust storm and a snowstorm. It's so good. All right, so we should move on to the voting process of this, which will be a little difficult, I think, because I think everyone's going to
so.
want to vote for Sid's Always Sunny, right? Right?
That's what we were thinking exactly.
Honestly, I wouldn't not vote for it. The one thing I did love about the Always Sunny special is it kind of takes everything that has ever happened in sort of a Christmas special somewhere or another, and it's kind of like, let's make everything go wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they take Scrooge, they do the claymation, like it's all
I haven't
about
touched on the Scrooge part, but yeah.
yeah, like they kind of do a little bit of every little Christmas holiday story and bring
And
it
Danny
all into
DeVito
one.
naked. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Who doesn't love that at Christmas? No, so I mean, like, I do think that although it's over the top and crazy and kind of, I don't know, violent and whatever, it does encompass everything that does happen during Christmas. They touch on all what Christmas means to somebody.
I agree, but I can't vote for my own.
Yeah.
So I am going to vote. I gotta vote Grinch. Nah, yeah, I gotta vote Grinch. I want to vote Charlie Brown because I love Charlie Brown, but there's something about, as much as I love Charlie Brown, there's something about the music in the Grinch that make me want to watch that one just a
Yeah.
little bit more at Christmas. I love the last song in Charlie Brown, and as soon as the movie starts, that music cue is like, oh fuck, this
Yeah.
is a Christmas movie. I love this. But there's something about the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" song that is just so perfect
is.
in Christmas that it ekes out. Like if I were to like put like a on a scale of like 1 to 10, Grinch would be 10 and Charlie Brown would be like 9.9. Like,
I
it's just-
agree
it's
because
that
they do.
close.
I agree. No, I completely
Yeah.
agree. They both have very like well-known soundtracks and
Yeah.
You're not going to vote
They're-
for my thinly veiled excuse to rewatch the series of The Office?
Honestly, I thought I was when we laid them all out. I thought I was going to vote for The Office.
There's
but
nothing Christmassy about that
I
season.
really,
that I
other than
know.
calling it a Christmas special. Nope.
If you had picked any of the American versions of The Office Christmas,
Maybe.
like any of them, because there's like 9, I think.
Yeah,
9.
there's a
How
lot.
many seasons?
There's
7
10,
at least?
10 seasons or 9 seasons.
remember.
I know there's
Yeah.
one less because one season was during the writer's strike, so they didn't get a Christmas special. But some of the first 2-3 years of Christmas specials are phenomenal, and they totally encompass the Christmas spirit and still are funny and awkward, and people get what they want, people don't get what they want.
Right.
I couldn't do that for your show.
I mean, that's what happens in the British one too. Some people get what they want, and it doesn't end up being exactly what they want, but they got what they need.
Yeah.
I'll vote for yours.
Really?
Yeah. It was so funny. I remember now. I did watch it, and just the level of excitement that you brought to your argument did it for me.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I really, I'm not joking at all. I love this shit out of it. That is my Christmas TV special. Next.
Well, because I cannot vote for my own, I'm gonna have to go with Charlie Brown.
Woo!
Because classics, obviously. Because I mean, you have to go with one that you can watch every year, forever and ever.
And they're
I'll
these
find
have
out in
already
a few
lasted
years.
60 years.
Yeah. To our credit, they are timeless, and they will continue to be shown every year from,
Definitely.
And the Charlie Brown Christmas tree is a thing that, I think a lot of people own as Christmas decor.
You guys have, both of your specials bring something that has now become synonymous with Christmas. The Charlie Brown Linus and Lucy now appears on every Christmas mix.
Yeah.
And the Grinch, that song too. Yeah.
Well, and and you could even argue Brian's special as well in this. All three of ours are talking about very commercialized Christmases. Christmas, has become so commercialized and over the top and extravagant, and it's kind of trying to break away from those traditions. And I don't know.
And throw rocks at trains.
Basically. The Grinch carves a roast beast, which is like throwing rocks at trains.
Yeah.
I knew mine's the best.
Although I do really like yours, Brian, and you made a very good argument, I still have to go Grinch because I can't go Charlie Brown, but I still am perfectly fine. Grinch is classic. When I heard you were doing it, I was so excited because I was like, yes, I haven't seen this movie in a while or special, and I was like, I have to watch it again. So
I didn't actually realize. I thought it was a movie, and when I was watching it again, I guess because I hadn't seen it probably since last year, it's only 20 minutes long.
Really?
Oh, see, I thought it was 20
minutes. It is short.
I thought it was 20 minutes, but when you buy the iTunes version, they
You
play
get an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, they play
it 6 times.
They play I think Horton Hears a Who
Yeah,
right
Horton,
after
yeah.
it. So when I press play, I'm like, it's 50 minutes. I'm like, I do not
This is a
remember
long
it.
story.
I do not remember it being 50 minutes, and I was kind of a little nervous. I was like, it's going to be dragging.
I had the same problem.
And then it finished in 20 minutes, and I was like, oh.
I had the same problem with your movie because I bought it on Amazon, and you get all three Charlie Brown Christmas anythings.
Yes.
90 minutes? What the fuck?
Yeah, they have a couple other Christmas specials, not as good.
Yeah.
It's down between your guys', the two of yours, but I have to go very superficial and be on an argument basis, and I think I'm going to go with the Peanuts one, the Christmas special, because of the argument, yeah.
Wow.
Which argument?
You mentioned the movie.
Oh.
It wasn't that, but you
Just
appealed
the
to
mention of it? I didn't say it was good. I just meant...
You said it may or may not be
It may,
good. You gave it a chance to be good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's obviously still
Honestly-
relevant because it's still being remade.
Honestly, it's a percentage point difference is the only thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's no
Lord.
landslides in this one because I watched one and I liked that one better than the other one, and then I watched the other one, and vice versa.
Okay.
So it's whichever one,
I think Brad and Brian
Well-
did the best job of bringing
Yeah.
their episodes into the spirit of Christmas.
Thank you. I am great.
I still maintain my vote for It's Always Sunny.
So what happens if
That's a tie, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
2
gonna
for
change
Charlie
his
Brown,
vote?
two for Peanuts.
I'm fucking fine with a tie on this one.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a tie between those two movies,
Two
I think
Christmas
that's
classics.
fair. I mean,
That's
they're
fair.
two
There you
Christmas
go.
classics.
Yeah.
I could do the tiebreaker. We all have to vote again for those two, but fuck it, because that's really just saying, Ryan, change your vote. And I don't think that's fair, because these are two amazingly good Christmas movies. And like I said when I was voting for mine, they are almost parallel.
Well, here's
they're
the
that
And in
good.
the spirit of Christmas, they win together.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is for my pick, I had to invent I had to pick something that was okay,
I will be happy to win with you, but in the spirit of Charlie Brown, I would be perfectly fine letting Grinch win because that was what Charlie Brown would do.
Because he's a loser.
Yeah.
So then,
He'd be like,
therefore, you win by understanding the spirit of Christmas more.
Ooh.
Thematic.
And I'm going to fuck everything up, and I changed my vote to Charlie Brown.
I am going to do one more thing in this episode because we usually have like a rating system at the end of these things when we do like a full episode. And this time we don't because it's a battle thing. But I do want to do one thing completely against our Christmas episode, which was all about finding the true meaning of Christmas. And I want to go around the table and talk about our favorite Christmas gift as a child. What material thing did you get as a kid that was your favorite Christmas thing? And then we'll bring this thing to a close. I'll give us a second to think. But I know mine.
Mine is
I
the
know
easiest
mine.
thing I could ever say. It shaped the rest of my life. I was 4 years old. Good old 1989. I had asked for some stupid toys. Little did I know, that's not what I really wanted, because I came downstairs Christmas morning to find Nintendo Entertainment System.
There you go.
Whoa.
With Mario, Duck Hunt, and some stupid tennis game. But I played the shit out of that for the rest of my life.
Mine is very similar, actually. Mine's kind of a tie between the Christmas I woke up and found 4 Power Rangers under the Christmas tree and was so fucking excited because they
4
disappeared.
Power Rangers.
My mom couldn't find the pink one.
Wait, what? She wasn't the last one on the shelf at every store?
Apparently, they didn't make as many, so that one sold out a lot faster because they didn't expect it to sell.
Actually, I think the pink one would sell because
Yeah,
all
wait,
the
there was a
girls who
yellow
want
one?
it,
Exactly.
the yellow one would not be the one that
I had a
Yeah,
yellow
no
one.
girl wanted the yellow one.
No.
But either way, so the pink one sold out, so I didn't have that one. That was going to be mine, but when I think about it honestly, the one that really made me go, holy shit, was my Super Nintendo Entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's because my sister and I hounded my dad. We want a Nintendo. We didn't want a Super Nintendo because we didn't know that one. All of our friends had Nintendos, and my parents didn't buy me one. So we're like, no, we want Nintendo. Nintendo. And my dad, reading the newspaper, or Newsweek, or whatever the fuck it was, went, no, this is the new one. It's going to be better.
Yeah.
And completely ignored us and went and bought us the Super Nintendo. And we opened it, it was like, what the hell is this? Is the greatest thing that has ever happened in my life.
I would still maintain that I think the Super Nintendo is the best system ever made.
I can make that argument.
Well, actually.
Mario Kart, Super Mario World.
Oh my god! Because that's what we got it with Super Mario World,
Yeah.
and that was Christmas Day. The rest of that fucking day was Super Mario World. So
Was Super
good.
Nintendo the first one where you could like put in a code to save your not
No.
save it, but like go back to where you
No,
were?
that was Nintendo 64.
Oh, well.
No, you could
Super
do it.
Nintendo
You could
sucked.
see games in
NES.
Nintendo.
Nintendo had
All
stuff
the-
like
all the
that.
Mega
They
Man
would give you
games.
like a
NES
20
didn't
long,
have it.
a 20 character long
and-
thread of like
Yeah.
a passcode. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
This
that
was-
you did.
That you could buy Nintendo Power and get them in the back of the issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the most important thing about Super Nintendo, the Super Game Boy. I could play
Oh my
Pokemon full
God.
screen.
That was so fucking great. And it had the little like banners on the side. Like,
Yep.
oh, it was so good.
I have to go next based off of this though because
Are you
my
gonna say Nintendo 64?
yes.
Nice.
With Super Mario 64, it blew my mind. I didn't really like making that jump to 3D space. You downplay because it's been so long and the graphics have come a long way, but just going from that 2D to the 3D and realizing
Huge deal.
you could have an
Huge.
open world blew my mind at that age. It was so amazing.
And
then,
that game's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
like
gorgeous.
even like
Yeah.
even now, data graphics, they did such a good job animating that game. It's still gorgeous.
I watch speedruns of people playing through Mario, and I remember why, not because of the speedrun, but them playing it, why I loved it so much. It was such a great concept. Jumping in paintings, level design was great. It was just like great open
Phenomenal.
world. Embracing the 3D for the first time, the possibilities. It really opened up like my interest in gaming.
and taught us how important it is to get proper camera controls in a video game.
Yeah.
Yes. But then Star Fox also came out roughly around that time too.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
And
So
so I got
good.
that one too, which
Do a barrel roll.
dual barrel roll. It blew my
Be careful, it's a trap.
that game like allows you like to, all the strategy like it
Keep
hit
making slippy noises.
go for the 4 hatches on the underside. But yeah, no, Nintendo 64 it just blew me away for gaming.
I do also remember playing like the racing games like Rush and thinking, oh my god, the graphics on these are amazing. Look at how
Fuck.
real it is.
Wave
Wave
Race.
Race.
Oh my god.
And
that
that's
was
what-
the most colorful, amazing thing ever.
I look like I'm on the ocean.
And if I can get ranty pants for 1 second, like kids today aren't gonna understand that jump in technology quite like
Right.
we did, because video games made a huge jump, like exponential.
Oh, the jump from Super Nintendo to 64 was gargantuan.
Yeah.
Like
The-
jumping
the
from
last
720
jump,
to
really.
1080p
Yeah.
is not gonna be that impressive.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, a little couple extra pixels, cool. But like going from 2D space hardware limitation to all this open space for the first time is just
It was amazing.
it's amazing, unforgettable. Which is why I brought it up.
Yep.
Here,
Yeah,
but,
like if I go back and look at a game that was out on PlayStation or Nintendo 64 and compare it to a game that's today, like another one in the series, I'm like, oh yeah, the graphics are a little better. But to go from you're seeing like pixelated characters on the screen to a full 3D world was insane.
It was amazing.
And that was the first joystick on a controller, right? The N64?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, but
I don't remember if it was that or PlayStation. No, it would have been that one because PlayStation
Didn't start with
it.
it,
Yeah,
and it didn't start with a joystick either.
That's right.
So I mean, mine were definitely. I could say Nintendo 64, but I won't because you just brought it up, and I also think of other things that come to mind before Nintendo 64. Some of the ones that come to mind are like the Playmobil castles, like all those like medieval castles. I love that. But the one thing that I was super into as a kid was always Legos, and I remember getting the underwater like. It was just like yellow and had a submarine and all like the underwater stuff.
Underwater science characters.
Yes,
I had
those
that
were like
stuff. Those
super
was great.
cool. And I remember getting that and being like, "This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is the coolest present ever."
Man, do you remember like getting Legos as a kid and being like, "Oh, I really wish they could make Legos with our characters that we know." Now you can get any character ever.
I know you can do anything with Legos. Yeah. Although it could be that maybe we're just older. I remember when this was a while ago, but when my brother was still playing with Legos, he's 16 now. But when he was playing, I remember a lot of it comes put together now. Like,
really?
Like some of the boats and stuff like that. Like
What?
Yeah, I just remember
That's
like
kind of too bad.
Maybe it's just in my mind and I'm thinking like, oh, this is easy.
No.
You know, but I just remember like putting some of this stuff together with him and thinking, I remember having to build a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I just had a case, just a vat of Legos, and it was like, make whatever you want.
Yep.
I had a fucking bucket with one piece of paper and like, this is how you build a house, and it made no fucking sense.
Nope.
It's like, how do I build a house? What the hell is this?
And this is where IKEA was born.
And especially when you are always convinced that you're missing that one piece. You are
Which
like,
you are, by the way.
Yeah,
missing.
you probably are.
You're building
You
the
probably
biggest
are.
castle ever, and you're like, no, this piece isn't here. And you'd be furious, and you'd be throwing things, and no, this piece is missing. And my mom would be like, well, why don't you just take another piece from your other? I'm like, no, it's not the same color. It doesn't match. No.
Yeah. Moms never understand.
No.
I can't say Nintendo 64 because I never had that. My parents were very anti-video game.
That's so sad.
They didn't like the whole video game trend that was sweeping the nation, so they were like, no, we're never gonna buy you that. It's okay. We had other things.
Cool.
Tell us about
we
one.
had other activities to do. So when I was very young, I was into Barbies a lot, and so my favorite Barbie that I had was that I got for Christmas one year. Her name was Hollywood Barbie, and she had she had this outfit that had like gold boots, and I also got the Ken. So I got Hollywood Barbie and Ken. And the coolest thing about them is that they like wore shiny gold outfits because they're superstars in Hollywood, and their hair would change color if you sprayed water on it. And so
That's
like
very Hollywood.
her like it would come
They're
with
melting.
it would, like the Ken, it was just plastic hair, but if you like put water on his head, pink stars would show up in his blonde hair. And if on the Barbie,
As they do.
That's a West Hollywood Ken.
on the Barbie,
Yes,
she
it
came,
is.
She came with stencils.
Brian's gonna see that a lot tonight.
Yeah, on the Barbie, she came with stencils and in the shapes of stars, so you could like spray water on her hair and make pink stars all through her hair. And then
That's
when my
actually-
brother was
what
in high
year was
school,
this?
was, I don't know,
Like
early
90s, early-
90s.
that's
yeah.
kind of
And
badass
so,
for early 90s.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah.
so because that was so awesome, when my brother was in high school and like doing crazy things with his hair, I was like, "Can we please do Hollywood Ken on your hair?" And he let me do a pink star on his like
That's-
bleach blonde hair.
I like your brother a little more right now.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so with that, I'm going to bring this episode to a close.
And the year to a close.
and
Happy 2015 end, everybody.
That is the end of After the Hype in 2015.
All right.
Nothing else. And
We're
as
actually
of,
done. We're actually done. We did it.
Go
We
out on a
finished.
high
so
note.
as of right now, the next episode is Terminator Genesis. I have a pretty strong feeling I'm going to cancel that episode because it's the day after I get back from flying, and I probably won't want to record right away. And I don't think I'm going to have time over those 2 weeks to watch the movie. So it might get canceled, and then we'll have something else the next week. So we might have 2 weeks off. We might have 3, depending on how my schedule turns out. And I will not let anyone know until the next episode comes out.
You'll know when you know.
You'll know when you find out.
Yep.
And but other than that, thank you for everyone for listening throughout the entire past year. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for everyone who soldiered through our breakdowns.
Yep. Thank you for everyone who's been sharing our podcast. Please continue to do that. It's been super helpful, and I love sharing. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is
can
special.
be fun. And thank you to Brad McKenzie for coming on today.
Woo!
Thank you to Ryan for going from appearing maybe once or twice to almost always to now pretty much just always.
Yeah, pretty much always. Pretty much always Ryan.
It's a big title.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks for almost always having him.
Yeah. It's been a good year, and sorry to Chewy, who was not able to make it for any of these last end of the year podcasts. I know she wanted to be here. She's very upset that she wasn't able to. She will be back in 2016.
All right.
Or will she?
We will.
Or will she?
We will rebuild her.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
But with that, I am going to say bye.
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 Bye-bye.
'Cause the eyes of a reindeer are upon you. Any wrong you do is gonna see. When you're out at Christmas, look behind you. 'Cause that's where the reindeer's gonna be.